Hey y'all, welcome to the first episode of Meatless Mondays. And I really wanted to do this because I get a ton of questions about the types of foods that I eat since I transitioned to becoming a vegetarian. So I've been vegetarian since March 12th of this year, and when I first started I was eating heavy on like the carbs, a lot of beans, lentils, just legumes in general, a lot of rice and even pasta. And not that that is absolutely terrible for you, because in the beginning of my journey it definitely worked, but I'm learning that there are a ton of options out there and it's so important to kind of stay open. So I hope that this series kind of inspires you all, even if you aren't vegetarian, or even if you do eat meat, or you are completely vegan, you too can take a little bit of inspiration from this. And on today's video we're going to be doing like this Thai vegetable gyoza, and I'm gonna have like a drizzle with some stir fry. It's gonna be really cute. I love it, and when I shared it on Instagram you guys loved it. So make sure you're following me on Instagram, be sure to subscribe, join the family, and give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more content like this, and we can kind of make this like a regular part of the series. So without further ado, let's get into it.
This meal is super easy to prepare for, and it's all about the vegetables that you like to add to your stir fry. I really like to bulk mine up, and even though I like to use a lot of vegetables, I chop them super thick and rough so they're not fine and it doesn't take a lot of time, and it really helps to keep the nutrient content in the vegetables during the cooking process. So to start, with a large pan on medium heat, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of avocado oil. This is one of my favorite oils to use as it's a high heating oil. And I'm going to add in my carrots, broccoli, and green beans. Now I will say I highly recommend just allowing the green beans to cook for about 5 to 7 minutes on their own, and then add in the carrots and the broccoli, because the green beans are a little bit more rigid and take a little bit more time to cook down. Now here I'm adding low sodium vegetable broth. Flavor your vegetables during the cooking process so that you don't overuse your glaze that we're going to be making a little bit later. So flavor at every level is key, but don't go overboard, especially if you use any form of like onion salt, garlic salt. You want to monitor that as much as possible and be modest if you can. Now I'm just giving the vegetables a stir. You want to make sure that the oil and the seasoning are evenly coating all of the vegetables. Keep that flavor cute. This is how the vegetables are coming along, and it looks really good. I like the vibrant color, and it still has that nice texture and crunch to it. Now after about 15 minutes or so, I like to add in the bell peppers and the red onions. These don't take nearly as long to cook, and they're a bit softer in their exterior. So again, I like to keep that crunch as much as I can. Lastly, I'm going to add some fresh garlic. I'm adding about almost 2 cloves, but I'm going to leave a little bit for our sauce or our drizzle later on. And I'm going to give this one last stir, and I'm going to remove it from the heat and cover it so that garlic really infuses into the vegetables. Now for the star of the show are these Thai vegetable gyoza, and their carbohydrate count is about 40 grams or 35 net grams of carbs. So I'm going to kind of monitor my portions and have about 4 total, because you don't really need to have 5. Trust me, you will definitely be full. And I'm just going to lightly fry these in a bit of avocado oil, but be careful, these can cook fast. And I'm just going to put these off to the side and drain the excess oil, and then we're going to begin working on the drizzle or our sauce that goes on top. So I highly recommend using coconut aminos as a non-soy alternative. I had to use liquid aminos because that's all I had. And I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of water. Again, we're trying to dilute that sodium content. And I'm adding things like sesame oil and oyster sauce, which is honestly so bomb. I love the flavor profile. And I'm going to add a bit of rice vinegar just for a little bit of acidity to help enhance the flavor. And then I'm using coconut nectar to sweeten this. This is a low glycemic sweetener. I highly recommend it. It is bomb, and it's such a healthier alternative to maple syrup. Next, I'm adding ground ginger, a little bit of garlic powder, and black pepper just to taste, and a little bit of avocado oil. I'm whisking this together. And in the pan that we fried the gyoza, I added a little bit of fresh garlic, and I'm just going to add add the sauce to the pan. And after a few minutes with the pan on like medium heat, you want to add in your cornstarch and water mixture, and this is what's going to help it to thicken. Now you don't want it to thicken too much, so you want to stir it and really be mindful and lower your heat if necessary, because that will kind of speed up the cooking process. And I had to add a little bit of water to loosen it and, you know, make it more of a loose consistency. So water is your friend in this instance if it gets too thick. And I really like a consistency where it drizzles off of the spatula. So once you're about at this point, I say we're good to go and we can start plating our dish. Now you guys know I really like presentation, so I took about 1.5 to 2 cups of vegetables, which was a little bit much. That was a lot, I couldn't even finish, but I added some sauteed spinach, and I'm just going to drizzle the sauce right on top. Again, this is a great way to monitor how much, you know, sauce you're using. Usually, you know, I would just add the sauce and kind of like cook it on the vegetables directly, but I'm trying to monitor how much I use. And honestly, the flavor profile of this is so good. You don't need a lot. I'm telling you, I wouldn't lie to you. Like, honestly, truly, this is so good. Add the gyoza, deck it out. Again, don't go overboard, because again, you should have some leftovers with this. Okay, so this is how it looks. I love everything about it, and it tastes good and it feels good. And I just love that this is super quick and easy. And if you're someone on the go, trust me, you have options. And I'm just showing you guys that it's super easy to just pack up your leftovers. And if you want to, you can also pack up the sauce and again, just recreate this dish. All you have to do is take about 8 to 10 minutes to prepare the gyoza and you're good to go. So thank you guys so much for watching.
Now that I've completed the meal, I hope you guys enjoy, but I want you all to vote on what dish you want to see me create in the upcoming video. So if we want to keep this going, now's the time. Let me know. But yeah, stay motivated, continue to shop, and be wise about your spending. Buy in bulk if you have to, because being a vegetarian does not mean that it has to be expensive. So, you know, let's give each other some of our best money saving tips. Let's make this work. Let's make this more than food, like, you know, affordable, healthy eating. Okay.